There are drills which are going on, civil defense drills which are going on. And most Indians born in the 1970s or after that have never experienced this kind of situation, other than probably those who live along the international border or the LOC. They've never probably seen bunkers or seen these evacuation measures which are being done. It's making people jittery, nervous, especially those who have children in the forces. While you are prepared for any kind of eventuality, the thought that it's such a probability level is so high is making people nervous. So, you have such a vast era of vast experience, having led the Chinar Corps and having done so many postings in Kashmir. Could you tell me a little bit about, or could you advise civilians as to how they should approach the next couple of weeks and months?
Good day to you, ma'am, and good day to all your viewers also. To start with, these civil defense drills, as you said, those who are born after 1970s and those who are not living close to the borders, I have done both. I am born pre-70s and I have lived along the borders. I have studied when 1971 war happened. I was in Amritsar, and then after that I did my schooling from Firozpur. The border areas in those days, these were the routine drills. Air raid sirens happening. In fact, when the first drill happened in Firozpur, I think a day before, and my class group from the same school in Firozpur, and they were talking about it the whole day. They said, we have done it, we have seen it, we are now telling our children it's a routine thing. So it's a very, very routine thing, and it's not that the bomb is going to fall on the house of the person who is staying next to the border. It is just a collateral damage which can happen. Suppose enemy targets a particular installation, military installation or civil installation, and for some reason the bomb or the projectile doesn't fall on that and falls somewhere 100 meters, 200 meters left or right or above or below. So for that reason, people are told to keep the lights switched off. So that identification of the target at night becomes difficult. And which platforms have those avionics or have the latest techniques of acquiring the target, for them it is different. But Pakistan's inventory is still not 100% state of the art. So it is in everyone's interest that citizens should keep the lights off at night whenever there is air raid siren. And the blackout basically means you cover your window shields with some black paper or nothing else, the carbon paper, and draw your curtains. Even if you have the minimum light inside the room, it should not go out.
Okay.
And the evacuation drill which you talked about, ma'am, the evacuation drill is in case of war or in case of mobilization, and when the military armies or the army or air force installations are moving towards the border, the people staying in the close proximity of international border, they would be evacuating rearwards. The army units are moving forward, they are evacuating rearwards, and Punjab sector and Rajasthan sector, because of the rivers and canals, have limited crossing places on this obstacle system.
Okay.
So we don't want a situation where from this side the army unit is moving and from that side the civilians are coming and they bump into each other at the same crossing place or any other choke point.
Okay.
So that's why the evacuation drill for the civilians, rearward movement of the family, of the children, of the ladies is nominated. Okay, you are supposed to use, this village will use this track to come back to the main town. This village will use this track, and those tracks will not be used by the army.
Okay.
So there will be a separate tracks or the roads which will take the army into the forward areas, and separate roads or tracks which will take the civilians out of that border area into the safer places deep inside on territory.
So you are predicting, or you are foreseeing like an Operation Parakram kind of a situation where there'll be mobilization of forces along the IB? Do you see that happening?
Ma'am, whatever happens, suppose there is no war, these drills are always good, at least people will understand their responsibilities, their duties. Suppose some sort of action happens and the mobilization does take place, then it will be so smooth that everything will be okay and nobody will get unnecessarily harmed. And in case there is a higher scale operations, I will not call it a war or a full-fledged war, higher scale operations, then of course, even then these drills will help.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have done these drills as a child in Amritsar during 1971 and later on also as a school kid. It is very good way of keeping yourself out of harm's way. There is no need to panic.
Okay.
All these civil defense drills are preparatory drills. It's something like you are carrying out the drills how to survive if there is an earthquake. Now that doesn't mean there's going to be earthquake tomorrow. All civil defense volunteers and the home guards and even police and NCC, they all carry out these drills so that in case of an emergency, in case of a situation arising, we should be able to evacuate or survive without getting any damage done.
Also, it's एक तरफ तो NCC and civil defense people will be training others in the sense of they will be going to all these places, hospitals, schools, colleges, and showing them how to leave the buildings in case there is something. These kind of things will happen. What is the role of a common citizen? What should a parent do? In one of the episodes, you talked about your mother and how, I'll leave it to the audience. I've given the episode number. They can watch it themselves, where you describe, the role that your mother played of this fearsome lady who took on, to protect her husband.
Yes.
She did that. And you were brought up by your grandparents. Tell me about what is the role of a parent at this stage? How should they train their children not to be nervous, but to understand that we might be entering into a situation of conflict, and how they have to do their role as a parent, how they have to conduct their role as for their children's sake, for their community. What should they do?
Ma'am, actually speaking, it will happen the other way around. The children in schools will be trained and educated by the NCC staff, by the civil defense volunteers, by the home guards. And when the child from school comes home, I would request the parents to listen to the child.
Okay.
As to what he's telling, what he has learnt in the school from the NCC officers and others. Because every child will go back home and teach 5 to 6 of his family members, his or her family members.
I see.
Because it will be very difficult to go home to home and educate everyone. Like you mentioned, schools, colleges, universities, hospitals, or any places where there is more community centers. And schools are the best place. Okay. And there is a system in place of NCC, which is a very well-disciplined system. They are uniformed people who run the NCC classes.
Okay.
So that system is generally used. That channel is then generally used to educate the students about these drills. The students then become the teachers for their family.
Okay.
So, but I would like to say one thing. There's nothing to panic here, ma'am.
Okay.
There's no panic here. And if any of the audience who are watching or the viewers, if they ever been to Israel, you would see in a day there are 3 times air raid sirens. And you're sitting in a mall, you're having a lunch or a dinner, and suddenly air raid silence. Everyone moves into a place of protection.
But they have bunkers.
They have bunkers. And in our case also, the areas which is especially of Jammu Kashmir, where the ceasefire violations or cross LC firing was a norm, there also the villages have bunkers, underground bunkers, where they know it fully well. Moment there is a warning, they rush into that bunker. However, in places, I'll say Pathankot downwards, there may not be bunkers who are nominated for this. But then the villages will be told how to, protect themselves and don't stay inside a particular type of a structure. And you can go into a different type of a structure.
Do subscribe to the ANI Clips channel to get shorter versions of this podcast. Click here to watch the full episode.